Today I want to start off this sermon by asking you a question. This question, I think, will be beneficial not just for Buddhists, but also for non-Buddhists as well. And my question is this: if you had to explain in one sentence, what did the Buddha teach? What is your answer? I think a lot of people in the world who hear about Buddhism, they will say things like being kind, being generous, treating everyone equally. They might even say something like being happy with little, accepting life for what it is. But there is a correct answer to this question. The Buddha teaches the Dhamma for one thing. The Buddha teaches the Dhamma for the understanding of suffering. We all experience suffering, some people more than others. But we don't try to understand it. What we normally try and do is avoid it. We try very hard to avoid suffering. Until we are 25, 30 years old, we work hard to educate ourselves to avoid suffering. We work hard to build a business, to earn money, to get the best job possible. Why? To avoid suffering. We go to the gym, we exercise, we buy home insurance, health insurance. Why? To avoid suffering. But can suffering be avoided like this? Does it work? Does this method work? We think it works. Our mind, it tells us this method works. But the truth is, a lot of people in this world, they don't see suffering. They are blind to it. They are suffering, but they don't know they are suffering. They see other people suffering, but they blame something else. They don't blame the right reason. The key is to understand suffering. But understanding suffering is not easy. Let's say someone is able to see suffering. The next step is to understand where it comes from. Where does suffering come from? Who made it? I'll give you a small example. Everyone here has a phone, right? You're sitting here, and while listening to the Dhamma, you get a text message. And you read it. And the message says, "Puta, come home quickly. Your mother has died." What happens to you when you read this message? Can you listen to the Dhamma anymore? No. What happens? You suffer. Straight away you suffer. If you ask your mind, why am I suffering? What does your mind say? I am suffering because my mother passed away. But think like this. Because you have come to listen to the Dhamma, you've put your phone on silent mode, or airplane mode, or you've turned it off. So you don't get the message. Do you suffer? No. But why? Your mother has died. Your mother has passed away. Why aren't you suffering? Your mind just said that you are suffering because your mother died. If the real reason you are suffering is because your mother died, you should be sad as soon as she died. You don't need the message in the middle. So there is a connection. There's something happening in the middle. That's what 99% of the world doesn't see. There's something in the middle. As Buddhists, you have probably heard about Visakha. Everyone's heard about Visakha? If you haven't heard about Visakha, she was a beautiful woman that lived during the Buddha's time. She came from a very wealthy family. She was one of the treasurer's daughters. And she was one of the women that built a beautiful dormitory for the monks. She built a place where there were 500 rooms on the bottom floor and 500 rooms on the top floor. So how many in total? 1,000 rooms. She had lots of children. And she had lots of grandchildren. And she loved them very, very much. She loved them very much. One day, Visakha came to see the Buddha. But she came dressed a little bit differently. She came with her hair wet. And her clothes were all wet with water. In India during this time, if you saw someone with wet hair and wet clothes, it was a sign that someone had died in their household. So she came to see the Buddha, and the Buddha asked, Visakha, why are you crying? Why is your hair wet? Why are your clothes wet? Buddha, my favorite granddaughter has just died. Without her, my house feels empty. The Buddha then asks, Visakha, how many grandchildren and children would you like? The Buddha knows Visakha really loves children. We see people like this during this time. Some people really like teachers. They really adore their children. Some people are very fond of children. Visakha was very fond of children. So the Buddha asks, how many children would you like? Visakha, while she was crying, she says, even if I had as many children as there are in this whole city, it's okay. The Buddha smiles. The Buddha says, how many people in the city die every day? Visakha says, 10, 9, 8, at least 5 people die. The Buddha then says, Visakha, if 5 people die every day in the city, your hair will be wet every day. Visakha was wise. She became a stream enterer, Sotapanna, when she was 7 years old. Incredible. As soon as she heard the Buddha's advice, she smiled and looked down. And here the Buddha says something beautiful. The Buddha says, Visakha, if there are 100 things that you love, 100 things that you are attached to, that you desire, there will be 100 sufferings. Visakha, If there are 50 things that you love, that you desire, that you are attached to, there will be 50 sufferings. If there are 10 things, there will be 10 sufferings. If there are 5 things, there will be 5 sufferings. If there is one thing that you desire, that you are attached to, there will be one form of suffering. But Vishaka, if there is nothing that you are attached to, if there is nothing that you desire, there will be no suffering. This is what the Buddha teaches. Generosity, kindness, they all make a part of achieving this, of understanding suffering. But if anyone asks you, why does the Buddha teach the Dhamma? It's for the understanding of suffering. This discourse is actually aimed at people who are new to the Dhamma. And if anyone tries to read the Dhamma, they will know that there are 18,000 discourses. So it's difficult to see where you're going to start. The Buddha says, reading the Dhamma, listening to Dhamma is like this. He says, imagine a honeycomb. If you taste the honey from the top, what does it taste like? It tastes sweet, it tastes like honey. If you taste it from the bottom, what does it taste like? It tastes sweet, it tastes like honey. If you taste it from anywhere around the honeycomb, it always tastes sweet. The same is for the Dhamma. The Buddha says there is one taste of the Dhamma. That's the taste of the freedom from suffering.